Today's conversation is on the peer observer effect. The peer observer effect. By this I mean very specifically, I do nothing to affirm the fact that reality is perfect as it is now in my favor. Or another way of saying it is, I need not do anything to deny the fact that reality is perfect as it is now in my favor. It is only the conditions in mind placed upon consciousness that distort the true nature of reality, which is bliss. The true nature of you is bliss. See, the person in mind may place conditions in mind upon consciousness in order to, let's say, experience bliss. And if these conditions do not appear to be met through the confirmation bias that the person in mind has placed in mind, then that can be experienced as emotional dysregulation, thoughts of disharmony, thoughts of separation from bliss. Those thoughts suggest that a particular person, a particular environment, a particular condition needs to appear in a particular way in order to experience bliss, generating interference. The interference is experienced as suffering. It is perhaps experienced as conflict in relationships, conflict in environments, conflict in circumstances, and very specifically, for example, with respect to being in flow, it can be experienced as a flow restrictor. These kind of experiences, which are distortions of reality, generated by these conditions placed upon consciousness in mind. Pure consciousness, you, are perfect as you are beyond these conditions. It is only the personal identity, which is not true identity, that is generating these illusions of separation from bliss. To prove the point, we can actually at any moment where the individual is identifying with this personal identity construct, which is made up of beliefs of condition. If the individual identifies with this personal identity construct and it appears as conflict, it appears as suffering in environments, in relationships, let's say on the journey to actualizing the vision, which the journey to actualizing the vision is naturally flow. Yet, through identification to this personal identity, it is not experienced as flow. It is experienced as suffering. In that particular moment, the individual can do nothing to release those conditions placed upon consciousness, to release identification to the personal identity. And experientially, they feel bliss, experience joy, peace, happiness, bliss by doing nothing. Another way of saying it is, I can relax into the flow by not trying to control, not trying to affirm reality is perfect as it is now. as it is perfect as it is now. It is only the conditions placed upon consciousness and mind that seem to suggest that reality is not perfect as it is now. You are reality perfect as you are now. A person doesn't need to do this or that to try to deny the fact that reality is perfect as it is now. They could simply acknowledge true nature in the moment by allowing themselves to be. And by allow themselves to be, what I mean is release the need to try to change reality. Release the need to try to control. Practically, this is not identifying with those thoughts if they appear in mind that seem to suggest that you are not perfect as you are now, that reality is not perfect as it is now. Allow the emotions to be released without labeling them as negative. Those thoughts in mind appear to disappear as they do not represent you. They do not represent reality, which is perfect bliss now. You are bliss, happiness, peace, joy, love, and completely fulfilled as you are now. And this is actually experienced in the moment by not trying, by not forcing, by doing nothing. Doing nothing specifically refers to acknowledging the fact that I am still, even if emotions appear to flow, thoughts appear to flow, they appear to disappear as mentioned in mind, body appears to flow. So for example, I'm up north right now enjoying another week of snowboarding. The weather is getting warmer and the snow is melting. Now, I love snowboarding, yet it doesn't bother me that snowboarding season at this particular location is coming to an end, because I also enjoy spring. I also enjoy making these videos as I get to share my experiences with you, so we can benefit greatly from our conversations. Let's say before, if snowboarding season was coming to a close, I would feel like I was lacking something, like I was missing something, like I was lacking the bliss that I experience while I snowboard, which is an illusion. As I am bliss, you are bliss. You spring from the sure foundation of eternal bliss, infinite bliss, and it is not based on condition. A great way to prove this point is to ask yourself the question, when you do experience bliss, or you do experience happiness, love, peace, fulfillment, where do you experience it? Now, the person in mind, the personal identity in mind, may point to a visible cause. They may say, I experience it because of this person, or because of what this person does, or because of this environment, or because I snowboard. And then I say, no shame, no condemnation. Where do you actually experience it? And they say, I experience it within. In other words, bliss, happiness, love, peace, fulfillment is experienced within and based on a condition of the personal identity. It is experienced as because of this person, or because of this environment, or because of this condition. When more accurately, it is experienced with the person, with the environment, with snowboarding. It is not because of snowboarding. It is not because of the person. It is not because of the environment. And so then another question that I may ask the individual is, could you experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment without this condition being met? And they might say, I don't know. And so then I might say, and we could do this right now, is we can acknowledge the I that transcends the thought by asking ourselves the question, who has the thought? Who has the belief? Who is relating to emotions or environment or person or circumstance? Who is doing that? And the obvious answer is I. I associate, I relate, I believe, I think, I feel, I. And so I say, who is that I? And they may say, well, I is this person that loves to snowboard, enjoys conversations while walking in one of his favorite parks up north, and is enjoying having this conversation. That is I. So I say, okay, those are what we call attributes of I, or an identity construct of I. Yet that is not I, as if I can identify with an identity construct or a personal identity, then I transcend that personal identity. And then it is realized. I trust you experience now that you transcend this personal identity. You are, in essence, formless. You can form a personal identity. You can reform the personal identity. This is what we've been discussing about all throughout the years, and I cover in extensive detail in my subconscious mind program. If this personal identity is not formed naturally through knowing who you are, it may be formed in a way that generates suffering. So I then say, let's go a step further. We have transcended the conditions of I, the personal identity of I. Let's inquire, who am I? Who am I? I, the individual, transcend the appearances. I remain the same. It is the same I that was snowboarding, that will be snowboarding later, which is perfectly fine. So then I inquire further, or we could say deeper. Where do I spring from? Immediate bliss is experienced, immediate love, immediate peace, immediate fulfillment, immediate happiness. And we can experience it as peace, or maybe at times ecstatic bliss, or varying degrees of it. For example, while I was meditating here yesterday, after my snowboarding session, I experienced ecstatic bliss by acknowledging the source of I. I spring from the sure foundation that I am. And I am infinite bliss, infinite love, infinite happiness, infinite peace, infinite fulfillment. You are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, beyond conditions, beyond the illusions of I, beyond the personal identity. That is true identity. And that is a real experience, the realist experience. The realist experience, we could say, of true nature bliss, existence consciousness bliss, truth consciousness bliss, being consciousness bliss. And so I can remain as I am. I can remain as I am in meditation. And it can be experienced as bliss amplification, love amplification, happiness amplification, peace amplification, fulfillment, complete fulfillment. This right here is the acknowledgement of the spiritual truth that you have no problem, that there is no problem with you. You are perfect as you are now. That is reality. Reality is Brahman. Brahman is appearing to play absolute reality as perfect life experiences, harmonious relationships beyond the conditions placed upon consciousness. And as these conditions are released, reality is experienced. So we could say then, bliss permeates everything that you do. Love permeates everything that you do. Happiness permeates everything that you do. Peace permeates everything that you do, with increasing frequency on a continuous basis as far as the senses perceive. So rather than acknowledging that you transcend the thought of limitation, the belief of condition, and then trying to fix the appearances or the people, the environment, the circumstance, or yourself, which none of these need any fixing at all, as reality is perfect as it is now, pure observation. I do not interfere with this delightful play of God. God is playing God. So I do not interfere. I experience it. You experience it, yes, as you and I spring from the sure foundation that we exist beyond limitations in mind, beyond conditions that I could be placing in mind. So rather than taking one condition and then placing another condition and another condition, which is just continuously placing more and more conditions in mind, I stop that. I do nothing to affirm that reality is perfect as it is now. I, as mentioned, can say it another way. I do not try to deny the fact that reality is perfect as it is now. As I am, pure consciousness, I purely observe, we could say. I purely observe. I do not interfere. I do not generate interference with these conditions in mind. We can refer to this as no mind. And by that I mean, very specifically, for the context of our conversation, is no thought of limitation, no belief of condition. Let it be. Let the light be as the light was. One of my favorite translations of Genesis 1:3 is the Peshitta Aramaic Bible translation. It says, "And God said, the light shall be, and the light was. The light shall be, and the light was." For the person in mind, trying to figure out what this means, no shame, no condemnation. Do nothing to experience it. Do nothing to experience the light as it was in the beginning, now, and ever shall be, is pure consciousness, perfect as it is now. This world that appears to be a play of God, a delightful play of God. So just as we can go through what we went through right now, where we can acknowledge that we transcend the personal identity by not identifying with the personal identity in the moment or the beliefs of condition. We acknowledge that I, aware of the thoughts, we inquire further. Where do I spring from? And it is experienced in the silence as immediate bliss, immediate love, immediate happiness, immediate peace, immediate acknowledgement of complete fulfillment in the moment. This is what I mean by I do nothing. I do nothing in the moment. As it is done for me, it permeates, bliss permeated, love permeated, happiness permeated, peace permeated. It is only the person in mind that thinks that they need to do all these things. You can do all those things if you would like. If you find it to be helpful, you could do all those things to affirm that reality is perfect as it is now. You can also not do a whole bunch of things to affirm that reality is perfect as it is now. Or you can do a whole bunch of things to try to deny, which we could say is trying to deny the appearances from appearing to be a particular way, which is an illusion, as it is only the conditions placed upon consciousness in mind. And no shame, no condemnation. By applying what we're talking about here, which is very simple, and also in particular situations to acknowledge without shame and condemnation, where it was once, let's say, very hard for me to apply this, it became easier and easier and easier. Or we could say it becomes easier and easier with practice. Like, for example, in meditation, and I recommend the Vipassana meditation. I'll link in the description to a guided Vipassana meditation. It became easier and easier for me to acknowledge the void beyond the thought, or no thought. And also, it became easier to rest as I am. Rest as I am bliss in meditation, to the point where the bliss permeated so profoundly, we could say, that some of the thoughts that appeared in mind were, why do you need to then go snowboarding? Why do you need to then have this relationship or make videos? I could just receive this bliss within and continue to have it permeate the body, permeate the mind. And nothing wrong with that thought, as that would generate interference, suggesting that there was a problem with that thought, problem with mind, problem with emotions, problem with body. There is no problem. It is only the personal identity that suggests that there's a problem, if that personal identity has been formed in a way that is conditional, and you are not the person in mind. Clearly, we went through it to bring awareness to the fact of existence being bliss. That is you, reality, perfectly appearing to be in harmony with you. So again, to go back to what I mentioned earlier, I then came to the realization that it wasn't because of snowboarding. It wasn't because of the person. It wasn't because of the environment. Just as I experienced myself as bliss in a meditation, I experienced myself as bliss while snowboarding, while in conversations, while making these videos. Unconditional love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, appearing more so with increasing frequency on a continuous basis as far as the senses perceive, as these beliefs of confirmation bias-based beliefs that suggest that this condition needs to be met, then happiness, etc., dissolve. And I still enjoy snowboarding. I still enjoy making videos. I still enjoy whatever it is that I do. Yet the reality is pure observation in meditation, experiencing the reality of Brahman, which is absolute bliss in meditation. And just as you can experience yourself in meditation, you can experience yourself while you're going about your day-to-day activities. So we could say then you push out yourself. You are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, pushed out as the experiences with people. And this also may be noticed, what I notice is that people appear to transform. Environments appear to transform. For example, when you are snowboarding, if, let's say, you fall, you get back up. You don't shame and condemn yourself. You enjoy the experience. If, let's say, you're making videos on YouTube, you turn on the camera and you start talking. You're not worried about what people think about you. You genuinely care for the people that you speak with. So you don't worry about what they think about you. You don't worry. Those worries spawn from those conditions. So you do nothing to stop worrying. Pure observation. Pure observation. This is what I mean. With pure observation, being as you are, witnessing reality, the perfect play of God, you don't interfere with the perfect play of God. And it is an experiential, it's a five-sensory integrated experience. The play of God is an interactive experience, yet it is a perfect experience. Pure observation, not interfering. I have no desire to interfere, thus I am desireless. I may desire to be as I am, nothing wrong with me, yet I can acknowledge that desire means having, as in I have what I desire. I am all that I desire to be. I can do nothing, as desire is acknowledgement of the fact that you are all that you desire to be. You have what you desire. And then suffering ceases. The illusions of mind cease, and reality is experienced. Pure observation, perfectly as it is now, as you are perfect as you are now. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's conclude this with an auto suggestion to further encourage. You could say, through pure observation, as I remain as I am, everything appears to be in harmony with me. I appear to be in harmony with all. As I acknowledge all spring from the sure foundation, beyond the illusions of separation, existence is real as love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, appearing to play out more so with increasing frequency on a continuous basis as harmonious relationships, as harmonious life experiences, with people, environment, circumstance, information, all appearing to be in harmony with me as I am in harmony with them.